It was raining hard. Mara stopped under the streetlight. The light hummed. It was a low, insistent sound that vibrated in the wet air. It cast a small pool of sick yellow on the slick, black street, turning the falling raindrops into a curtain of shimmering gold. Cars passed with a swift hiss, their red lights blurring into long painted streaks, their white lights blurring into long painted streaks that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Mara did not move. She stood perfectly still in that small circle of light, a solitary figure against the vast, dark canvas of the city night. The rain soaked the shoulders of her coat, but she seemed not to notice the chill. A sound came from the gutter, just at the edge of the curb. Not the familiar drip and gurgle. Mara dropped to her knees on the wet pavement, cold seeping into her jeans. She peered into the gutter, her face just inches from the iron grate. Wet, decaying leaves, soggy bits of paper, a dark, pulpy mass. The voice came again. It was personal. It said her name. Mara. A profound, icy frost moved down her back. A cold, not from rain. She had told no one she would be here. This was her secret spot, her anonymous sanctuary. Her hands touched the wet, cold metal. An old, heavy grid set over darkness. Water moved sluggishly beneath, reflecting the yellow light in shifting patterns. The sound slid through the narrow holes like air forced through a pipe, intimate, right up against the other side, waiting for her. The word was gentle but firm, pulling her in. Curiosity outweighed fear. She stood, looked both ways. There was nothing but the rain and the light, making the downpour look soft and slow, each drop a falling jewel. She remembered she had one last stick of spearmint gum. Her fingers fumbled, finding the small foil rectangle. She chewed mechanically, the mint sharp, grounding in the fog of dread. She told herself to be brave, to be rational. There was a logical explanation. She told herself, pull the grate up, expose the mystery, dispel the fear. She wedged stiff fingers under the edge. The grate moved with a low groan, just enough to break the seal of grime and rust. A wet, foul smell rose, old, sharp, earthy. Rot and forgotten things. Her eyes burned, her stomach clenched. The voice said her name again, happy now, welcoming, as if she were expected. Her hooked fingers touched something cold and yielding. It moved. It felt like a hand. Too small, unnaturally long, fish belly white. Fingers fitting perfectly between the holes. A ghostly hand brushing her, light and inquisitive. Her scream stuck. She yanked free, skin scraping metal, foul water soaking her sleeve. From below, a small broken laugh, pure glee.
Do you live here?
It did not sound like a person anymore. A child's cadence, but hollow. A mimicry learned in darkness and isolation. The question hung absurd and terrifying. Mara stared at the black slits, mind balking.
I don't live near here.
She tried to stand, to put distance between them. The streetlight felt thin and far away, its glow weak, inadequate. The rain kept its steady, relentless drumming. Mara said she could not stay. She forced her legs to move, shoes slapping cold water at her ankles. A car passed, its engine filling her ears, drowning out everything else, until the taillights vanished. She spun. No one there. The grate undisturbed. The light flickered. Once, twice. She was alone, but she did not feel alone. She began to walk faster, steps echoing in the empty street. Just go home, she told herself. Back to her apartment. Lock the door. Turn on all the lights. She knew these streets like the lines on her palm, comforting geography. But tonight, the block stretched on forever. Familiar facades seemed to tilt closer, windows vacant, watching. The rain fell heavier, as if the sky pressed down to hold her in place. The voice followed. It didn't shout. It made small, insidious sounds that traveled in strange ways. It hummed under the soles of her shoes, a low vibration rising from pavement. She felt feather-light strokes against her calves, cold, damp fingers. She stopped, breath-catching. Was it real? Or a phantom born of fear? The line blurred to gray haze. Crouched in a doorway, she looked down the long, wet street. The voice came again, this time from a drain 20 yards away.
Please, we are cold. The word "we" dropped her stomach. She had not been alone with it. She had been alone with them.
She imagined tiny, pale faces and wet eyes behind iron slits, countless little hands waiting. Too clear, too articulate, too clever. She shouted into the gutter, "Who are you?" It answered with her name and a new word, remember. Remember what? Her mind slid into fog. An old house, a dim hallway, toys she could not name, a street she had walked as a child. A buzzing light with the same low hum. Her breath quickened. She put her hand to the iron. The gaps felt like teeth in a hungry mouth. It sounded like an old friend now. We waited. The thought, absurd, lodged as truth. Something slipped around her ankle, wet, thin, and strong. A black, slimy ribbon like hair. The realization sickened her. She pulled. It held fast, leaving an oily smear that smelled of old salt and decay. She gripped with both hands. It was stuck, then gave with a slow, loud screech. Under the buzzing light, a dark square mouth opened. Deeper than she'd thought. Slick walls, things moving in the dark. Not animals, not shapes she knew. Eyes like wet stones blinked. Small mouths formed silent words. "Hello," said the main voice, and many whispers joined. They all said her name. It did not feel like a call. It felt like a pull. She felt the pull first on her ankle, tight as a finger closing. Then her whole leg, steady, inexorable. The gutter pulled like one hand, then many. Her body slid. Her coat scraped the opening. For an instant, the night sky became a perfect yellow ring far above. The rain a distant smear. The world tilted. She reached, fingers scrabbling, metal biting skin. Muscles screamed. From below the song rose, a strange harmony, not cruel, patient, a lullaby promising a deep, dreamless sleep. She kicked hard. Nails dug, threatening to tear. Salt on her tongue, the circle above, the countless hands below. Then something cold touched her wrist, ice moving under skin, numbing and absolute. She made one long animal sound. As the cold reached her heart, she let go. She fell. No impact, only a long descent through cool, silent dark. The song wrapped her like a blanket. Soft hands cradled her. No pain. Her breath slowed. Her thoughts dissolved.